Hey, Lions Nation! We're back with another exclusive video bringing you all the latest news about our beloved Detroit Lions. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss anything about the team. Now, let's get into the news. Detroit didn't just make a move today. They made a declaration. The kind of declaration that shakes floors, rattles meeting rooms, stops conversations mid-sentence, and forces every other team in the league to look up and admit that something dangerous is happening in Michigan. When the announcement dropped, when it became official that MINKAH Fitzpatrick was a Detroit Lion, the entire identity of the franchise shifted. Instantly, violently, irreversibly. This wasn't a rumor. This wasn't a leak. This was a bomb going off in the middle of the NFL landscape. MINKAH Fitzpatrick, one of the smartest, most versatile, most explosive safeties of the last decade. A man who sees offensive plays before they happen. A man who erases mistakes, diagnoses coverages like a machine, hunts the football with predator instincts, and hits with the precision of a sniper. And now he belongs to Detroit. Now he lines up behind the corners that offenses already fear. Now he stands at the heart of a secondary that just transformed from strong to untouchable. Inside the Lions facility, the reaction was immediate and visceral. Players shouted when the news flashed across screens. Some thought it was a prank. Others froze, wide-eyed, unable to process the magnitude of the signing. The defensive backs room, once filled with young talent still learning their identity, suddenly felt like a chamber of weapons being sharpened simultaneously. Because Fitzpatrick isn't just a player joining a roster. He's a system. He's a philosophy. He's an entire defensive chapter coming to life. And Detroit now owns it. The moment he walked into the building, the temperature changed. Coaches straightened up. Veterans locked in. Younger players stared at him with that mixture of admiration and fear reserved only for legends who are still in their prime. Fitzpatrick carries himself with a calm that forces everyone around him to raise their standards. He speaks softly, but his presence is louder than any speech Dan Campbell could give. Before we move on, take a second to drop a like and subscribe. That way, you'll stay up to date with every exclusive Lions update. And you'll even have a chance to win an official Detroit Lions jersey. Let's keep going. Film sessions are different with him in the room. He watches tape with a level of intensity that borders on obsession. He pauses plays before the coach can. He points out mistakes before teammates notice them. He predicts routes, motions, and options as if he's lived inside the opposing playbook his entire life. His football IQ is so high that it intimidates offensive coordinators. And now, the Lions have access to that mind. Rep after rep, week after week, game after game. On the field, Fitzpatrick alters the geometry of the game. Quarterbacks stop looking deep. Slot receivers hesitate before crossing the middle. Running backs take different angles because they know he closes faster than almost any safety in the league. His range is absurd. His anticipation is deadly. And his ability to disguise coverages will turn the Lions' defense into a labyrinth that quarterbacks get lost in. But the scariest part is what this means for Detroit's other defensive backs. With Fitzpatrick patrolling behind them, the Lions can unleash every weapon in their secondary without fear. Corners can play aggressive. Nickel defenders can jump routes. Linebackers can cheat toward the line. The pass rush gains an extra heartbeat of time because Fitzpatrick forces quarterbacks to hesitate, to pat the ball, to double-check windows that used to be wide open. Detroit's secondary didn't just improve. It locked. It sealed. It became a cage. And offensive coordinators across the NFL felt it immediately. The league began buzzing within minutes. Former players, analysts, scouts, everyone started scrambling to understand how Detroit pulled this off. How they managed to bring Fitzpatrick into a defense already climbing into elite territory. How they found the cap space. How they convinced a superstar to join a team that is no longer dreaming of contention, but preparing to impose it. Some insiders believe the Lions had been planning this for months. Quiet conversations, late-night negotiations, strategic silence, moves in the background that nobody noticed until all the pieces clicked into place. Others insist this was a reaction to growing pressure from inside the locker room. Players who felt the team was close to dominance, begging the front office for one more elite piece. Either way, the effect is the same. Detroit now has one of the most terrifying defensive backfields in football, and it didn't take long for practices to show it. One receiver reportedly left the field shaking his head, muttering, "You can't throw anything past him." Another said it felt like Fitzpatrick was in two places at once. Quarterbacks struggled all day, forcing passes they never should have attempted, frustrated at how fast the windows closed. Coaches didn't intervene. They watched. They smiled quietly. Because this is what they wanted all along: suffocation. Dan Campbell, always the emotional heartbeat of the franchise, didn't celebrate loudly. But people close to the team say they could see the fire in his eyes the second the signing became official. He knows what Fitzpatrick brings. He knows what this means. He knows the Lions aren't chasing respect anymore. They're hunting control. Detroit's defense now plays with a swagger they didn't have before. Not arrogance, certainty. Certainty that they can take away the deep ball. Certainty that they can bait quarterbacks into mistakes. Certainty that no offense will feel comfortable at any point in the game. When Fitzpatrick stands at the back of the formation, staring into the offense's soul, it feels like the beginning of a nightmare for anyone wearing the opposite uniform. On social media, fans exploded. Videos of celebrations, screams, shocked reactions, tears, and disbelief spread through Detroit like wildfire. It wasn't just excitement. It was validation. It was the realization that their team, after decades of heartbreak, is now making moves that only championship-level organizations make. Moves that alter seasons. Moves that intimidate rivals. Moves that announce power. And through all the chaos, one truth stands untouched. With MINKAH FITZPATRIck, the Lions didn't just close their secondary. They fortified it. They armored it. They weaponized it. Detroit's identity shifted tonight, and every rival franchise felt the tremor. We bring you the latest Lions news every single day. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And of course, drop a comment below with your thoughts on today's news. Your voice makes a difference for Lions Nation. See you in the next video.